Well, most of you know about Operation Christmas Child, also known as the Shoebox Campaign, which is a project of the international relief organization Samaritan's Purse. It's become the world's largest children's Christmas project. And joining me from Calgary to talk about this is Frank King. He's the News Media Relations Manager with the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. Welcome to the show, Frank. So great to have you back on again already. Christmas time. We are already talking Christmas. I can't believe it.
It is crazy how fast things are going, but I appreciate you folks having me on board today.
Of course. So, for any viewers, Frank, who may be unfamiliar with this, what is Operation Christmas Child all about?
Operation Christmas Child is all about generous Canadians packing shoeboxes full of toys, school supplies, and hygiene items, and then dropping them off at one of hundreds of drop off locations across Canada. From there, all those shoeboxes are shipped to our warehouse in Calgary, where thousands of generous volunteers go through every box, make sure that there's nothing inside any of them that could scare or harm a child or stop the boxes from getting through customs. And from there, they're packed in crates and then they're shipped down to countries in Central America and West Africa, where we have partners in those countries that set up these wonderful distribution events and invite all the children to come. And then they come and then they receive these incredible boxes. And I have to tell you, for a lot of these children, these shoe boxes full of toys, school supplies, and hygiene items are the first gift they will have ever received in their lives. So that tells you about the impact that these shoeboxes can have in the lives of these children.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Now, how many kids in how many different countries have you reached? And what are some of the different countries?
Well, I can tell you that since 1993, more than 187 million children have received shoeboxes from generous folks in Canada, the United States, the UK, Australia. There's a couple of other countries there too. I can't remember them all, but yeah. And in terms of Canadian shoeboxes, they go to countries in Central America, such as Nicaragua, El Salvador, Costa Rica. They also go to French-speaking West Africa. So we're speaking about Senegal, the Gambia, and a couple of other countries around there. And of course, your listeners and your viewers can get all the information they need about where shoe boxes are going and all that sort of thing at SamaritansPurse.ca.
Okay, good to know. So 187 million kids, you're saying, have been reached. So what are the age groups of these kids who are receiving these gifts?
Well, when folks pack their shoe boxes, they have a choice of three, obviously a choice of boy or girl, but of course they also have a choice of age groups. That's 2 to 4, 5 to 9, and 10 to 14. And then if you go onto SamaritansPurse.ca, there's all kinds of suggestions about here's the really good stuff for each of those age ranges and genders. And here's also a list of stuff that you really shouldn't be putting to shoe boxes as well. So we try to cover all the bases when folks are considering packing their boxes.
That's a really good idea because I think that especially it's easier to pack for the younger kids. It's maybe a little bit more challenging for like a 14-year-old, 13-year-old. So that's great. If you guys have suggestions on your website, I think that is perfect. So we're so glad that you mentioned that. So how do the kids and the families react to the gifts that they're getting? Can you maybe share a story of what kind of impact this makes?
Yeah, you'd be surprised at sort of the range that the kids have. Like some of the kids are really excited and they're opening their boxes and they're showing the kids beside them, and they're showing and maybe they're trading stuff, which we're fine with. Other kids will take it, they'll open them up, they'll carefully look through, and then they'll close the box again, and they won't open it again until they get home so they could show their siblings and their parents. So it's really neat to see the range of reactions you can get at these shoebox distribution events.
That's so cute and so sweet too. Now, does the shoebox also have an impact on the surrounding community? Does it open doors to bring about like positive changes?
It absolutely does. Really glad you asked that, because what often happens is we start distributing shoe boxes in an area, and then the community leaders will come to us and say, thank you so much for doing this. Can you help us with this, or with water, or with education, or with literacy, or with some of our agricultural issues? And so that opens the door for Samaritans First to go in there and do all kinds of other stuff. And again, always doing it in the name of Jesus. And when folks ask us, why we're doing this, we always tell them it's because of Jesus and because we follow him. And he tells us, do good to everyone. And this is why we do that. And so, yeah, it's a great door opener to do a lot of other really great stuff.
That must leave quite an impression on these precious kids too. Now, obviously we've had this huge pandemic, this super virus. So how has COVID affected the way that you're doing the shoebox campaign?
Well, it's definitely had a lot of effect on us, as it has on pretty much everybody. The constant pivoting this way and that way, depending on what government things are happening or depending on where the pandemic is, has really affected in terms of what we can do and how we can do it. So, for example, we often have a lot of staff traveling to countries like this to check with our partners. How are things going? How can we make things better? Well, that's been pretty much gone now since the pandemic started, for example. The other issue has been sort of getting volunteers to come in and inspect all the shoe boxes. So we've had to do some very careful stuff with that in terms of making sure everybody's masked, making sure, testing or vaccinations, all that sort of thing. So we've done a ton of that kind of stuff. The other thing where it's had an impact is last year, with people's concerns about touching things and shopping and that kind of stuff, the number of shoe boxes packed in the traditional way was actually down last year. But interestingly, we have an online shoebox option called packabox.ca, where you can pack shoeboxes online. And I'm just thrilled to tell you that last year, the number of shoeboxes packed online tripled from the year before. So that's we just gave a big cheer for that, to see that despite the pandemic, Canadians still want to help children in these developing countries. And when they get an opportunity to do it by doing shoeboxes online at packabox.ca, they're actually doing it. And we say thank you so much for them. And again, packabox.ca is open this year again. In fact, it's open 24/7 year round. So it could be the middle of an August heat wave, but boy, if God's put it on your heart to pack shoeboxes, you can go and do it in the middle of an August heat wave at packabox.ca.
That's cool. Okay, so maybe explain how it works then, this packing boxes online through packabox.ca.
We try as much as possible to echo the traditional shoebox packing experience. So we still have the same, picking your gender, your age range, and then we created a basic basket of items for each of those age ranges and genders. And you can add on to that if you want. And then what happens is you check out, you make your payment, and boom, what happens then is usually fairly early in the new year, we'll gather together thousands of volunteers again at our Calgary warehouse. And what they will do is they will physically pack the boxes that folks have done online. And I should tell you this too. Here's another way we try to echo the traditional shoebox packing experience. One of the things we ask people to do is put in a note or a photo with every shoebox you pack so that these kids can see, who are these people who have done this amazing thing for me. Well, when you go to packabox.ca and do it online, you've got an option to upload a note and a photo for each shoebox you pack. And then when our volunteers are physically packing them, they download those notes and photos and they put them in the appropriate shoeboxes. So again, echoing the traditional shoebox experience as much as possible, because we know how much pleasure that gives so many parents and kids.
Yeah, totally. So it's all done digitally, and then you just have a volunteer that's physically putting the box together. So you just click on items that you want to purchase, and that's how it's done, basically.
Yes, yeah, in some ways it's like shopping at Amazon. You've got a shopping cart and you put stuff in it, and when you're done, you check out and you pay, and boom, you're on your way. In fact, that's how my wife and I do it. We find the best, especially as you touched on earlier that the older age boys, especially, it's difficult to figure out what to put in the shoe boxes.
Yeah.
When you do it online, all that is laid out for you. So when my wife and I do it, we always do it online, and we always pick the older age boys because, boom, there we don't have to figure out what to put in. It's all set up and arranged. We just do it all online, and we make sure that the group that gets the least number of boxes, those are the ones we can pay attention to when we pack our boxes online.
Yeah, what a great idea. I absolutely love it. And it's kind of one of those in your face virus, right? We're going to get around this. So I love that. Now, National Collection Week for 2021 is coming up, right? So viewers have until Sunday, November the 21st to drop off their shoe boxes. So we were talking a lot about what we should put into the shoe box, and you have all those suggestions online. So if you are going to do one physically and not online, where can people drop these off?
That's a great question. When they go to SamaritansPurse.ca and you click on any of the stories that are on Operation Christmas Child, and most of them are right now, that'll take you straight to the Operation Christmas Child landing page. You go under the Pack a Box link at the top, and one of the things is drop off centers. That pops open. All you need to have is your postal code. You put your postal code in, and it will give you all the shoebox location, the drop-off locations within, well, actually as much as 200 kilometers if you want to go that wide, in terms of where are they. And also, you can click on those then, and they tell you the exact name of the place, the address, and even the hours of operation. That's the best thing of all. So if you're going to make a drive to drop off your shoeboxes, you can make sure you're there when they're open and can accept your shoeboxes. So again, SamaritansPurse.ca. And if you want to go straight to the Operation Christmas Child pages, just go SamaritansPurse.ca/OCC, and that'll take you right to the Operation Christmas Child landing page.
Okay, great. So we're also to include a $10 donation, I understand, to cover the cost to get the shoebox to the children, right? So it's basically a shipping cost then?
Yeah, we request that. By no means is it demanded. So if folks put in their shoeboxes without the $10 stuff, we're still going to get it to those children who need it. That $10 stuff does cover the various administrative costs and of course the transportation costs. And we've had people in the past say, "Gee, that it seems a little expensive." My response is, try shipping a shoebox full of stuff across Canada for $10. And good luck. It's just not going to happen. So to get a shoebox all the way from Canada to say Senegal, way over in West Africa for $10, that's a pretty good deal. And so that's the thing I try to help people sort of get their heads around. And once they realize that, they're like, makes sense.
Yeah,
Let's get her done.
it does make sense. But if you're unable to make that donation for whatever reason, will the shoebox still get there if we forget to include that $10?
Absolutely, yeah. And you can either put it in your shoe boxes or you can actually make the donation right straight online. So you've got that choice. Again, as always, SamaritansPurse.ca.
And yeah, nice and easy. So I'm curious, since we're talking about like the $10 donation, how much money do people generally spend on a shoebox? How much are these items that you're expected to put in? What's kind of the expected amount?
It can depend. We've got a lot of folks who shop year round, a lot of real sort of diehard Operation Christmas Child supporters. And boy, we love every one of them. They're just wonderful. And they will shop year round. They'll look for sales. They'll actually email and Facebook and stuff to other folks to say, hey, there's a sale on here at Costco. There's a sale on there at Walmart. There's a sale at Canadian Tire. There's whatever. And so folks can sort of do that shopping year round to really reduce their costs for each shoebox they pack. I know we've generally done a sort of an overall look at it because Canada Revenue Agency wants to know, and it's generally about $47 is the amount of value that we've sort of ascertained that people have spent in general on average for shoebox. So you can spend way less or you can spend way more. That just seems to be sort of the middle ground of where the majority of folks are spending. So that's so if you're wondering how much, that sounds like a good one to go with.
Okay, that's really good to know. Now, how do you decide which child gets a box? I mean, the sad reality is there's so many needy kids out there, and there's far more of them than there are shoeboxes. So how does that work?
That's where we rely on our partners in the receiving countries. So they're the ones who get the boxes through customs. They're the ones who work with other volunteers around the country to actually set up distribution events, almost always through churches. And then they invite the children to come so that whatever age range and gender and all that, and number of children who are invited, those are the boxes they make sure they have at that distribution event, so that nobody goes away not getting one, or not getting one for a boy or a girl. So it takes a fair bit of coordination. So we're really blessed to have very committed volunteers in our receiving countries, because as much as we can do here in Canada, if we don't have someone down there to do it as well, it's really not going to go well. So we're very blessed to have those kind of volunteers in those countries who love Operation Christmas Child. They love how it gives the children they see every day the kind of hope that perhaps they wouldn't have before they have gotten that shoebox.
Right. Excellent. Now, obviously, time is running out. National Collection Week is coming up on Sunday, November 21st for 2021. Just as a side note, people in Lethbridge can drop off their boxes at Park Meadows Baptist Church. And if you're in other cities, you go to the website as well that you mentioned before. What is it again?
The website is SamaritansPurse.ca, and if you want to go straight to the Operation Christmas Child pages, just add a /OCC at the end. That'll take you right to the Operation Christmas Child pages.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Frank. We really appreciate having you on today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the generous folks out there who are giving children hope, giving children a chance to get a gift for maybe the first time in their lives, and to find out that people in Canada care about them and God cares about them too. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Frank King is the News Media Relations Manager with the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.